Parliament is now likely to consider lowering the voting age to 16 after the Supreme Court ruled that the current voting age of 18 was inconsistent with the Bill of Rights Act. Well, to discuss what this all means, I'm joined by NBR's political editor Brent Edwards. So, Brent, is the Supreme Court effectively saying the voting age should be lowered to 16?
Look, they're not saying that it should be lowered. I mean, and the court decision recognises that that Parliament actually is supreme in terms of that. I mean, but this case was brought to the courts, has come up through the High Court and the Court of Appeal, and now to the Supreme Court from a case brought by the Make It 16 lobby group, who are arguing this issue around inconsistency in terms of human rights issues. And I mean, what the Supreme Court found was, while in the Bill of Rights Act there is a reference actually to the voting age being 18, which a lot of people have cottoned on and said, oh, well, hold it, it's already there. But there's another section of the Act which refers to discrimination and references the Human Rights Act, so which comes into it. And under that, age 16 is you cannot discriminate. So, and what the court said is it thinks that trumps the clause around the voting age of 18, raises the issue of inconsistency, and Parliament needs to look at it.
Well, there's been a wave of reaction, including from political parties.
Yeah, look, I mean, the political parties have responded pretty strongly. Both National and ACT have rejected it. They've accused the Supreme Court, I think, of judicial activism and what have you, which is going way too far. And I'm not sure if anyone in those parties has read the actual decision. I think that, the court is clear that it's not making the decision that, it must be 16. But it's raising it. There is this inconsistency. Therefore, under legislation, the Parliament then has to respond. Now, the Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, says the government will bring a bill to Parliament lowering the age to 16, which would give it the opportunity to respond. That won't mean it will be lowered because it needs a 75% vote to go to 16. And looking at the numbers, you'd expect that would fail.
Okay, so what's likely to happen from here then?
Well, from here, as I say, Prime Minister is going to, bring a bill. I mean, presumably it won't come in until next year. I mean, they won't be able to write it that quickly. Although it's also worth noting that there was a members' bill from Golriz Garaman, the Green Party MP, this year. As part of that, would have lowered the age rate to 16, and it never got to its first reading. So the issue, in a way, has been addressed before, but that will come. But in the meantime, though, there seems to be more agreement, because that's lowering the voting age for 16 for general elections, there seems to be more agreement that you could lower it to 16 for local body elections. And for that, you don't need a 75% vote in Parliament, you just need a majority vote, a 50% plus one vote in Parliament. And even the ACT Party, actually, David Seymour, said he would not oppose that. He opposes lowering the age for general elections.
So that could be a trial.
Well, that's the way he put it. Give them their training wheels, and better that they stuff up a council rather than the government. Of course, and this is the thing, that there's part of the political reaction has been essentially they're too immature and they're too stupid to allow them to vote. But also, they're going to vote for parties that are going to spend a lot of money. That seems to be a concern from the centre-right, that most young people, they believe, will vote for centre-left parties. They argue it's a political push by the Green Party in particular and Labour to do so. But if that's the case, one might argue it's also a political push by centre-right parties to stop those 16 and 17-year-olds from being able to vote.
Is there really a big difference between the age of 16 and 18?
Well, that's an argument people will have. I mean, and as I say, some of the arguments that have come out, are that, 16-year-olds are too immature. I mean, basically that they're stupid, really. They don't know the system. They couldn't vote.
Were you ready at 16 to vote?
Yeah, I was. And I've got to say, I meet a lot of 16-year-olds who I think I'd trust more to vote than a number of 60-year-olds I know. I think the thing about having maturity and being smart enough and all of that isn't an age thing. I mean, I think that know as many immature, stupid 60-year-olds as I might know immature, stupid 16-year-olds. So, but people will have different views on that. But one of the arguments, though, this political argument seems to be coming down to how people see 16 and 17-year-olds voting. And it is this view that they would largely vote for centre-left parties. And I think that is driving some of the opposition to lowering the age. If their vote was seen as falling more evenly, or even perhaps more to centre-right, I wonder if the political views around the voting age might change.
Brent Edwards, thank you.